Okay, so how do you make some additional income or revenue from a blog that's pretty much new or just getting started if you've got no traffic, you've got a very tiny list or maybe no list at all, and you don't have Google Ads? So how do you make some income that's actually decent and viable? I'll give you some thoughts in this episode. All right, so a lot of bloggers that start out, they're just getting started and they're trying to make some income with their blog, but maybe you don't have a lot of traffic. Maybe you're not even approved for Google AdSense, or if you do, you're making maybe $10 on Google AdSense. So what's a better alternative? And if you go in and you try to sell affiliate products, since you don't have the traffic, you're not making any money. How do you make this kind of work? You've got no products, not a lot of traffic. How do you do it? So here's the key thing. It really comes down to partnerships and kind of advertising. And I want you to think about this, open your mind a little bit that, okay, let's say I have a website here. So here's my website. And it has some form of content, and you have to have some content. So I will say, okay, let's say we've got 50 content pieces and blogs, and I might be looking to position some form of advertising. So here is, let's just say, Joe's fish market, or a pet store. So here we've got him, and we want to position him in here. So what I could do is I could reach out. So here I am. I want to reach out to Joe, and I'm going to reach out and I'm going to talk to him and say, hey, do you want to go ahead and position your products in here on my blog or on my business? And this will pull people back into your business. So it's kind of a way to get a direct sponsorship by you reaching out to them. I know a lot of people look at it kind of like, okay, well, if I'm a big YouTuber, then I have sponsors, and all of a sudden these sponsors are going to reach out to me. And although that's kind of cool, and that's what you hear a lot of times, because the big YouTubers, they have sponsors that reach out to them, here's a free product and so on. In this case, what you're doing is you're kind of doing the opposite. It's you taking the approach and you're reaching out to them, and then you want to embed them in there. And you might say, okay, well, how about I'll do $20 per post, and on every blog post, we'll go ahead and position you. We'll either put in a link, or it could be on all my content. You can be the dedicated sponsor for, let's say, $500 a month, which is going to be a lot more than you make from Google Ads, because on Google Ads, you might be making $20 a month or $10 a month if you're lucky, if you're just getting started. But at least now they're a full exclusive sponsor. And if you go in and take a look at my website here, so here's my Backstage income website. Now, I don't have a exclusive sponsor personally, but I've seen sites that do it. So here on the right side, what I do is I promote kind of my own pop-up. So this is to build my list. But under that, I promote my own course. What you could do is, instead of promoting the course, you could say, okay, well, we've got positioning here on the right side. You'll be on every blog content that we have. Here's what we've got. Here's the traffic, and we're continuing to grow. And we'll keep your rates the same as we continue to grow over the next 12 months if you decide to continue to renew it. And for them, maybe $100 a month, maybe $300 a month, whatever the rate is, whatever is fair, it could be a nice thing for you to go in and position yourself for. Because otherwise, what you're going to do is, if you go in and you say, okay, well, I got to wait till I get bigger to get a sponsor, you're going to be waiting for a while, and then you're going to wait for people to reach out to you. If you want to start the process of making money immediately with a blog that's maybe small, you don't have a big list, you don't have a ton of traffic, see if you can get an exclusive sponsor. Even if that exclusive sponsor pays you $100 a month, you could reach out to 20 people, and if you just get one, that's it. That's your exclusive sponsor. And now you've got a blog that's generating revenue, advertising revenue, right away and immediately. Because what a lot of people do is they just kind of hold out, they wait until they get bigger. But by the time they get bigger, over here, they're waiting for cash flow. They're burning their cash flow, and all that cash is just losing value, because you got to pay for hosting, you got to pay for content creation. You're wasting a lot of time. So even if you could get some kind of income coming in, you might decide to do 2 sponsors. So maybe another one that does 500. If you have the web space, or it just makes sense for you, you could do 2 sponsors. And now you could be bringing in $1,000 a month. It may not sound like a lot compared to some of the bigger bloggers, but it gets you started to being able to grow things. Now, I just used kind of Joe's Fish pet store here as an example. But if you have kind of an online base, then what you can do is you can put an exclusive sponsor here, and you could get pretty much anybody. Like in my content here, we've got a lot of stuff on email marketing, so I could get kind of an email marketing related sponsor. Or if you have other sponsors, you can go through and say, okay, well, we've got a list of sponsors here, and you can do it in your kind of resources page and try and make some additional income that way as well. So anyways, my point being is that don't just assume that you got to be big to reach out and get a sponsor. It's your duty to reach out and talk to these sponsors if you want the sponsorship. There will be some times where the sponsor reaches out to you, especially if you're creating content around them and you're talking about them and you're giving them some positive vibes, then that's a great point. That's actually what happened with me with Pork Bun. So you can definitely check them out. They have some great domains there available, and you can purchase a domain name. So I always recommend them for all my blog business related stuff and content. So for people starting out, they go in, buy a domain name, and use Pork Bun. But for you, if you're just getting started to get a sponsor, just go out and reach out to those sponsors. It allows you to start making some initial revenue right away. Most people are too scared to reach out. They're too worried about what are they going to say, what's going to happen. But if you do that, at least you have the chance of making some form of revenue and income if you have no products or no services at the time being, but you want to get some advertising revenue. Then go out and reach out to the sponsors. Partnerships that could make it worthwhile and make sense for your blog or business. Anyways, thanks for joining me. Hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to grab some freebies on my website. Click the link right over here. Or join me on one of my next live classes or live sessions as well. So subscribe to the channel, and that way you get notified as I release new content. Thanks, and I will see you next time.